Thank you. That was fantastic. But I don't think you answered Toby's question. Toby's question was, it was kind of broad, but she got very specific about why you think the groups that did so much for women have been so silent about the rape of Jewish women in Israel.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I did skip over that, because I also think the moment of that story has really passed. Like, I think...
Maybe it's, I still feel it, so that's maybe it's on my mind.
No, I mean, it's not like...
And the woman around me.
I mean, the hypocrisy. We're talking about the hypocrisy.
Yeah, no, I get it, except I also think, I totally get it. But I don't know, I also think that most reasonable people totally know there was rape and have acknowledged it. And I mean, you're right, the mainstream women's groups took a long time. And that was really upsetting, and UN Women in particular. And then there was this big campaign against them, and now they've all kind of acknowledged it. I also think there's something else going on, though, that I think that there's a thing that's happening, I mean, with Israeli Jews in particular, maybe with some Jews here. It's like people want to feel better about, so I think that, like, I think there's been, I don't know, I don't think there was ever a moment where any reasonable person didn't understand that there was a horrible terrorist attack that was barbaric and brutal and inhumane on October 7th. People were, I mean, there was besides the rape, there was the grandmother who was killed and put on her Facebook. There was beheadings. There was babies. There was, and I think that the fuss over exactly how many of this kind of brutality or that is a little bit like, what's the point? Like, there was a really brutal terrorist attack. There has also been a response that has been devastating with a very high death toll. There still are these more than 100 hostages still in captivity. Israel does not have a plan for the day after that is at all reasonable. Like, all of those things are true. And the right thing to do, the Jewish thing to do, I think, is to look at all of those things and to try to grapple with all of that complexity and difficulty. And I think some of the people, not you, I'm sure, who want to focus on why X or Y celebrity or X or Y group isn't talking enough about the rape of the women on October 7th is like a little bit of a deflection. Like, and also, I mean, the New York Times did this really amazing story led by a friend of mine, Jeffrey Gettleman, about the rape. And it included a bunch of stuff about why the evidence was destroyed exactly or ignored. And one of the reasons why there was, I mean, President Biden talked about rape on October 10th, on Tuesday, in his very first speech. Actually, when he talked about it, the IDF had not confirmed that there was any rape. So he was like, he and Netanyahu were ahead of the evidence, which was never to say, when we wrote a story saying that, which we got some crap for. It never occurred to me that there hadn't been rape, but it was interesting as to why, how it got ahead of its own, of the evidence. But I think, like, I don't know, I feel like this is a little bit of a sideshow, and I feel like some of it is about, no, I think the obsession about which women and which women's groups had which kind of response is a bit of, like, it's like to make us feel better about how victimized we were. And I think, like, I don't think there is any politician in America, I don't think there's any serious person who does not understand that there were rapes on October 7th, and that it was brutal. And I'm not disagreeing with you that in November there wasn't enough attention to it, but I feel like it's like, I'm kind of over that. I've moved on from that moment. I feel like there wasn't enough attention, and then there was more attention, and we all know there was rape, and why are we still talking about it?